Good morning, everybody. Today is, what is today? Today is Wednesday, February 9th, 2022. It's 10 a.m. and we are in conference room 325. This is the Committee on Agriculture. My name is Mark Hashem. I'm the chair. To my left is Representative Peruso, is the vice chair, and Representative Martin is joining us in the conference room. Everybody, please note that the instructions are in the chat, so look at that before you testify. Everybody sees it, right? So please review that before you testify. And with that, we're moving on straight to the first bill, HB 2307, relating to food safety. First up, we have Department of Agriculture with comments.
Aloha Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee, Phyllis Shimabukuro-Geyser, Chairperson, Hawaii Department of Ag. Chair, we stand on a written testimony. We support the intent and we offered comments. We do support the intent. Mahalo.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we have Hawaii Food Industry Association in support.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. I'm Alexis Chapman for HFIA. We are in support of this measure. This is a very important local industry, just not in terms of just economically, but also culturally and historically. It's a manufacturing sector that literally needs the support of the legislature in order to survive. And we urge you to pass this measure. And I'm available for questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we have Hawaii Farm Bureau in support.
Morning, Chair Hashem and Vice Chair Peruso, members of the committee. The Hawaii Farm Bureau will stand on its written testimony in support of this measure.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have Chamber of Commerce of Hawaii in support. Nope. And we have Hawaii Kai Corporation in support. Nope. That's all the testimony that we have. Or we have one individual that's in support. There's nobody else registered to testify. Members, are there any questions? Seeing none, we are moving on. Next up, we are on HB 1518. Give me a second here. Relating to ants. First, we have Department of Agriculture in support.
Mahalo, Chair. Yes, the department stands on its written testimony in support.
Okay, next we have DLNR in support.
Yeah, good morning. David Smith, Administrator with the Division of Forestry and Wildlife. The department stands on its written testimony and support. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Hawaii Farm Bureau in support.
Thank you, Chair, members of the committee. Ron Miyamoto here on behalf of the Hawaii Farm Bureau. We'll stand on a written testimony in support.
Okay, that, and we have one individual on, Casper Vanderwool. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. In support.
Yes, my name's Cass Vanderwood. I manage the Hawaii Ant Lab. I'm testifying as an individual, and clearly I support the bill, and I'm here to answer any questions that might arise from the committee. And I'd like to thank you for your time and consideration of this bill.
Okay, thank you very much. That is all the people that we have registered to testify. Nobody else is online to testify. Members, do you have any questions? Seeing none, we are moving on. Next up is HB 1714, relating to the two-line spittlebug. First up, we have Department of Agriculture in support.
Mahalo, Chair, and members of the committee. Yes, we stand on our written testimony in support.
Okay, next we have University of Hawaii in support.
Aloha to the chair and committee members. Jeff Goodwin, Associate Dean for Extension here at CTAR. Thanks for the opportunity to provide input. UH Manoa and CTAR, we strongly support the effort as we already work closely with HDOA on this and other biosecurity issues. We would support the bill, but we defer to HDOA as to their priorities and availability of personnel to support the measure. and stand on our other written testimony. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we have Ulupono Initiative in support. Micah, you on?
Good morning, Chair Hashem, Vice Chair Peruso, members of the committee, Micah Munikata on behalf of the Ulupono Initiative. We'll stand on our testimony in strong support and really trying to support our local livestock industry with this issue. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have Local Food Coalition in support.
Aloha, Chair Hashem, Vice Chair Peruso, and members of the committee, Kendall Matsuyoshi on behalf of the Local Food Coalition. We'll stand on our testimony in support of this measure. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have Hawaii Cattlemen's Council in support.
Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee, Nicole Galassi on behalf of the Hawaii Cattlemen's Council. I really want to thank you for hearing this measure and recognizing the need to continue to support this efforts on this invasive species. We stand on our written testimony in support. Mahalo.
Okay, thank you. That is all the people that we have registered to testify. Members, are there any questions? Seeing no questions, we're going to move on. Next up, we have HB 1715 relating to unintended animals in motor vehicles. First up, we have Hawaii Humane Society with comments.
Aloha, Chair Hashem, Vice Chair Peruso, members of the Agriculture Committee, Stephanie Kendrick with the Hawaiian Humane Society. We'll stand by our comments on this measure, and I'm available for questions if the committee has any.
Okay, thank you very much. That is all the people that we have registered to testify. We have about a dozen or probably 20 individuals or so that submitted written testimony. Members, are there any questions? Nope, seeing none, we're going to move on. Next up, we have HB 2061 relating to the Animal Industry Special Fund. First up, we have Department of Agriculture and support.
Mahalo, Chair, members of the committee. Yes, the department stands on its written testimony in strong support.
Okay. We have Department of Agriculture again. Next, we have Hawaii Farm Bureau in support.
Thank you, Chair, members of the committee. Brian Miyamoto here on behalf of the Hawaii Farm Bureau. We'll stand on a written testimony in support. And if I may, Chair, on the spittlebug bill, my apologies, I think I clicked the wrong button, but we did submit testimony in support of that measure also.
Okay, thank you very much. And we have one individual, Gerald Silva, that opposes the measure. That's all the people that we have registered to testify. Is there anybody else wishing to testify? Seeing none. Members, do you have any questions? Nope. Seeing none, we're going to move on. Next up, we have HB 2234 relating to agriculture production. First up, we have Department of Agriculture. With
Mahalo,
comment.
Chair. Yeah, mahalo, Chair. The department stands on its written testimony. We respectfully oppose the measure, and we have offered comments in our testimony. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Hawaii Farm Bureau in support.
Thank you, Chair. The Hawaii Farm Bureau will stand on its written testimony in support.
Okay, that is all the people that we have registered to testify. Members, any questions? No, seeing none, we're going to move on. Next up is HB 2431 relating to sustainable food systems. First up, we have Department of Agriculture with comments.
Mahalo, Chair. The department stands on its written testimony.
Okay, next we have Office of Planning and Sustainable Development with comments.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is Danielle Bass, State Sustainability Coordinator of the Office of Planning and Sustainable Development. We support the intent of this measure. We offer 5 amendments, mainly because the state sustainability branch is only staffed with 1 employee currently. So we would like to see, we would appreciate extending the deadline of this working group to 2024, as well as 2 appropriations, 1 for the working group and 1 for additional staff to the statewide sustainability branch. I'm available for questions. Mahalo.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have Hawaii Farm Bureau in support.
Thank you,
Next.
Chair. The Hawaii
Next.
Farm Bureau will stand on its written testimony support with the additional comment that we do request that the Department of Agriculture is added to the working group.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have Hawaii Farmers Union in support. Are they there? Nope. Next, we have Hawaii Food Industry Association with
Good
comments.
morning, Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. I'm Alexis Chapman for HFIA. We support the intent of this measure and request that it be amended to add a representative from HFIA to the working group. And I'm available for questions. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. That is all of the people that we have registered to testify. Anybody else wishing to testify? Nobody else? Members, any questions? Seeing none, we are going to move on. Last, we have HB 2285 relating to hemp. First, we have Department of Agriculture in support.
Mahalo, Chair. The department stands on its written testimony in support.
Okay, next we have Department of Health or individual in support.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, committee members. My name is Greg Edwards, Department of Health, Food and Drug Branch. The department stands on our written testimony in support. I just would like to clarify that our testimony is in support. When uploading our testimony, we incorrectly selected the opposition button on the website. We apologize for any confusion. I will be available for any questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have Hawaii Hemp Farmers Association in support. Or in opposition, sorry. Yep. Next, we have Hawaii Hemp Center in opposition. Yep. Next, we have Hawaii Farmers Union in opposition. Yep. That's all the people that we have registered to testify. We also have probably another dozen more or so written testimonies in support or opposition. Members, do you have any questions? Okay, Representative Martin, go ahead, you have the floor.
Hi, this is a question for Department of Agriculture. It seems like the hemp farmers and hemp farm associations, they all oppose this, saying that they find the Act 14 restrictions too restrictive, and they prefer another measure in the Senate. I wish they were here to explain why, but do you have any insight?
From what we've heard through our Board of Agriculture meetings when we were discussing adopting interim rules, they were concerned about the fees. And in the proposed rules, the fees could be as high as $10,000. The department would not automatically fine anyone the maximum. You know, it's been our practice with enforcement for other programs. You know, if it's an honest mistake or oversight, then we usually offer warnings for first-time offenses, and the fee or the fine is based on how egregious the act is. But you know, it's something that we do because, you know, we're also trying to make sure that we're educating all our producers on what we need to enforce. So the $10,000 is the proposed maximum, and that is for, you know, a really egregious offense.
Thank you very much. Members, any other questions? Seeing none, we're going to recess for decision making. Okay, good morning, members. We are back for decision-making on our Wednesday, February 9th, 10 a.m. agenda. First up, we have HB 2307. Chair's recommendation is to pass this with an HD1, defecting the effective date to 7/1/2050. That's it.
Members, Chair's recommendation on HB 2307 is to pass with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair voting aye. Rep. Lowen? I think you're muted.
Aye, sorry.
Thank you. Rep. Martin?
Aye.
Rep. Mariyoshi? Excused. Rep. Todd?
Aye.
Rep. Tokioka?
Aye.
Rep. Matsumoto?
Aye.
Chair, recommendations have been adopted.
Thank you very much, members. And next up, we have 1518. Chair's recommendation is to pass this out with an HD1, defecting the effective date to 7/1/2050 and zeroing out the money, the funding. And that's it.
Members, on HB 1518, Chair's recommendation is to pass with tech amendments.
Pass with amendment.
Pass with amendments. And Chair and Vice Chair are voting aye. Noting the absence of Rep. Mariyoshi, are there any reservations? Is he?
I'm here.
Oh, aloha. So on this measure, noting the presence of all members, are there any noes or reservations? Seeing none, Chair, your recommendation has been adopted.
Thank you for your support, members. Next up, we have HB 1714 relating to the two-line spittle bugs. Chair's recommendation is to pass this out with an HD1, defecting the effective date to 7/1/2050 and adding the Hawaii Cattlemen's Amendment for research. And that's it. Any comments? Say none. Vice Chair for the vote.
Members voting on HB 1714, Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair voting aye. Are there any no votes or reservations? Seeing none, Chair, your recommendation has been adopted.
Okay, thank you. Next up, we have HB 1715. Chair's recommendation is to pass this with a HD1, defecting the effective date. Okay, defecting the effective date and and adding a section that says first, an individual must call 911, and if an officer does not arrive in a reasonable time, then the next stuff will go into place. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, thank you, members. Vice Chair for the vote. Oh, did I screw up on this? Yeah, go ahead, sorry. Go ahead.
Voting on HB 1715. Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair voting aye. Are there any noes or reservations?
Reservations.
Seeing none- Oh,
Reservation.
reservations.
Yeah.
So, noting the reservations of Rep. Tokioka, are there any other noes or reservations? Chair, your recommendation has been adopted.
Thank you. Next up, we have HB 2061. Chair's recommendation is to pass this out with a defective date. And that's it. Oh yeah, HD1.
Okay, so voting on HB 2061, Chair's recommendation is to pass out with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Are there any no votes or reservations? Seeing none, Chair, recommendation has been adopted.
Okay, thank you very much, members. Next up is HB 2234. 2234, we're going to defer this for now. Next, moving on to HB 2431. Chair's recommendation is to add the OP amendments. Yeah, the Office of Planning amendments. And we're going to add Department of Agriculture as a member to the board. And then on number 10, we're going to add one agriculture member from each county. So from the county of Kauai, Honolulu, Hawaii, and Maui. And we're gonna add the Hawaii Food Industry Association also. Any questions or concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Voting on HB 2431, Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair voting aye. Are there any noes or reservations? Seeing none, Chair, your recommendation has been adopted.
Okay, and HB 2285, we're gonna defer this and wait for the Senate vehicle to come over. Thank you very much, members, for your support, and we are adjourned.